And I remembered this morning. So all life is good. And I am going to apologize to you all in advance. Right now, I have my puppy sidetracked with a bone, and I am hoping she stays sidetracked. So if you hear anything in the background, it's just her doing her thing. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed she behaves. And go from there. I'm trying to be kind to my husband as he is home. So let's go ahead and get started. Can you all see my screen? I'm going to assume a yes since I don't hear anybody.
Yes.
Thank you. So let's talk about the Torch Awards for Ethics. And I am going to warn you in advance, I may slip and call it the Eclipse Integrity Awards. I have been with the BBB for 26 years, and we have had the Eclipse Integrity Awards for 26 years. And this is the year that we've changed the brand, and it's now the Torch Award for Ethics. So if I slip and say Eclipse Integrity Awards, it's not, it's the Torch Awards. So bear with me and forgive me in advance. I'm doing better and better as it goes along, but I do slip occasionally. So my name is Sherry Sword, and I am the Vice President of Communications for the BBB, and the Torch Awards are my baby. I love this part of my program. It's so fun to shout out and give praise to those businesses that are doing great things in our marketplace. So I am super excited to have you all here this morning. We have one more joining us, so I'm gonna wait a minute as they come on and go from there. Lori, can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Great. We just literally got started, so we are good to go. But Lori, will you share who you are and where you're from? Or who you're representing?
Hang on just a second.
Yep.
I was the one that called the phone number and I could hear you, but somehow I was on permanent mute, which was kind of funny. So I'm Lori Cothran. I'm Development and Marketing Manager for Allwood Audubon. And so I'm just pleased to be here and learn the process and listen in. Thanks.
Fantastic. We are glad you're here. So going on, my contact information is here. Please do not hesitate to call me. That is my cell phone number. It's the easiest way to get a hold of me these days. We work a hybrid at the BBB. So I'm 2.5 days in the office, 2.5 days home. Don't hesitate to call me on my cell phone. I'm happy to help. And then I have access to my email all the time. So feel free. We'll be besties by the end of this process. So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to go over today. We're going to talk about the awards inside and out, backwards and forwards, and giving you all the tips and plans so that you have the inside scoop. You have plenty of time to get this done. I know it seems like March 1st is right around the corner, but the process has been so streamlined and made so much easier. I think you can easily get it done. You'll have to dedicate some time to it. I'm not going to kid you, but it can easily be done, and I'm wishing you all the very best of luck. And in fact, later on, I'm going to give you kind of a schedule to help you make that if you want to adopt it and go on. So a little overview is we've started the BBB Eclipse Integrity Awards back in 1994. We have actually had our awards program longer than the National Better Business Bureau system, which they call the Torch Awards for Ethics. They grandfathered me for several years to be able to use the Eclipse Integrity Awards name because we've had our program longer. But this year they said, nope, you're jumping on the national bandwagon. And so that is why we are just transitioning to this new brand. But it is still a streamlined, simple online application, which will go very easily for you, I am hoping. And that's what I am hearing. Allie can talk to it because Allie used the online program last year, so she can give you lots of insides outs on that. So basically what we're focusing on with your entry are the 4 C's. And that is the character of your organization, really of your leadership, the culture that your leadership has developed, your customer service and how you treat them, and then also how you are represented in the community and the great things that you do to make our community even better. So those are the 4 C's that we're going to be talking about throughout your application. So the benefits of winning are many. We are planning on having our regular sized event this year, 500 plus local business leaders. Hopefully by the time this rolls around in May, we have all learned how to live with this COVID beast a little bit better, and we can enjoy each other's company and see everybody's faces. I can tell you that this last year, we did have 300 local business leaders. Because of COVID, we had some restraints on size, but this year we expect that to be raised. So we're thinking positive, y'all, and we'll be able to go back to normal. You will get a this award to display, which is a very lovely crystal piece this year. The sense of pride that your employees will have for being recognized for what they do day in and day out is a fantastic boost for your organization. The media exposure will be fantastic. Plus, you'll have the opportunity to use the logo on your own publicity pieces and let everybody know from the rooftops that you have been recognized for your integrity. It is a unique awards program because it does recognize you for your integrity, which who doesn't value that and want the most for that? You'll be showcased as an ethical leader. And right now, with it being so hard to find and recruit talent, it may be a deciding factor for some to choose to go with you because you have been acknowledged for the way that you do business. So let's talk a little bit about eligibility, and then I'll see if anybody has any questions thus far. So the BBB Torch Awards are open to any for-profit, 501c3 or 501c6 organization. You do not have to be a BBB accredited business or a BBB charity seal holder. That is not required. You don't have to pay any dues to us in order to win. And I can tell you that we have had those that are accredited and those that are not accredited win this honor. So don't let that hold you back. If you are a for-profit or a 501c6, you do have to have a B rating with the BBB. We rate companies from an A+ to an F, just like in school. So we are saying that these winners and these honorees are the cream of the crop. So you have to have that B rating or higher. And if you're a 501c3, you do need to complete the charity evaluation process and meet all the BBB standards for charity accountability. If you're not sure your organization has done that, you can go to our website and pull up your report and see if you've met all those standards. If you have not gone through that process, no worries. We can get you through that process between now and the time the judges start. So it's a piece of cake. I know we have 1 or 2 organizations that are doing that as we speak. You do have to do business in the BBB service area, which the counties we serve are there. I always have to list them because there's 7.5, and I'll always miss one if I try to list them off my memory. And you have to have been in business for 3 years so that we know that your integrity didn't just start yesterday. It's been going on for some kind of a tenure, and all your financial obligations must be met. Pretty standard things. Applicants are not eligible if they have received the BBB Torch Awards for Ethics or Eclipse Integrity Awards in the past 3 years. Government agencies are not eligible to submit. If you have any major lawsuits, you want to disclose them in your entry. Now, I am not talking those civil suits, those angry customers from hell. I am talking lawsuits that we would report in your business profile on the BBB website. It's those government action types of pieces that you should disclose. If you have any question about something that is going on in your legal life as a business and wonder if it makes you applicable or not applicable, just shoot me an email, give me a call, and we can talk it through and go from there. But do disclose it. I know there have been years where we've had to disqualify companies because they do have something going on. And so until they got it resolved, we could not have them in the competition. You cannot serve on the Torch Award Planning Committee, as Allie does, and you cannot be a major sponsor, and that is at the principal or the Students of Integrity level. Any questions about any of that so far? Allie, I'm going to go up so that I can see you to make sure everybody else is covered, and then we'll go from there. And I told you she would bark, and she's doing it. So let's talk a little bit about judging. Stop. The entries will be reviewed by a panel of judges that are not BBB staff or board of directors. We really stay out of it. I don't even look at it other than your entry page. So it is reviewed by them. They are community leaders. You'll probably recognize one or two of them when they come to your place of business. I have some of them that have been doing it for as long as I've been at the BBB, and I have been there for 26 years. So they are community leaders. You'll probably recognize one or two of them. They will make personal visits to the award finalists. We call them site visits, and we'll talk about them in a little bit, but they will make personal visits. The judges' decisions are final. So if you find out one of the finalists you're just not happy with, and as I get a call every year, say, oh, that company really sucks. How did you choose them? I don't really want to hear it because I know my judges have done their due diligence. If they think they've heard something, they'll go online and research it. They're super diligent, which is what I love about them, and they're very passionate. So I know that they've done their due diligence, and they have the opportunity not to issue an award if in their interest they don't believe that anyone has clear merit, and that has happened as well. But they are a great group of people. So let's talk a little bit about the criteria and the process, and then I am going to turn it over to Allie. And Allie, if you hear anything along the way that you want to add anything in, don't be shy, just unmute yourself and share, and we'll go from there. But let's talk about those 4 C's and what you're going to talk about. And I am going to take the participants down because I can't see it. So the story is the first criteria you're going to talk about is character. And this is coming from your leadership's mindset, from what they're sharing. You can ghostwrite it on behalf of your leadership, but it is coming from your leadership's point of view. So you're going to basically answer 3 questions in this essay that goes with this criteria 1. And I would suggest you use these 3 questions as subheads in the essay that you're going to put together. Your essay doesn't have to be super long. I would recommend you not make it super long. Make it quality instead of quantity. And I would use these as subheads so the judges know that you've answered these 3 questions. But you're going to talk about how your leadership strives to lead with high character and are very intentional about it. You're going to talk about how they empower your staff to carry out their commitment to that ethical business practices. And you're going to talk about the tools and the activities and the training that the leadership is providing for them to be able to do just that. So you'll answer those 3 questions from your leadership's perspective. And again, you can ghostwrite it. I don't think our CEO writes anything himself. So feel free to ghostwrite it. That's part of my job as in my role. So your second criteria is going to be your culture. And again, I would not suggest going over 2 pages for this. Remember, it's quality, not the quantity. I would use bullets. I would use these as subheads. I would use highlighting to really make it stand out to the judges what you want them to see. But when we're talking about culture, it's going to be about how you unite your team around the vision and mission of your organization. It's going to be how you empower them regarding the expectations and the culture of your organization, and also demonstrate how your leadership's commitment to those individual employees, and literally just answer those 3 questions from your perspective, and really talk about how you demonstrate that culture of trust through your day in and day out operations. The third criteria is how you treat your customers and those customer relationships that you have. Again, it's 3 questions, so not anything long, not anything lengthy. And you'll talk about how you empower your employees to be proactive with issues. You're going to talk about how they've gone above and beyond with your customers. Those are some of the coolest stories you may not even know about until you start to go through this process. And you're also going to talk about how your honesty was a differentiating factor for your customer interactions. So answer those 3 questions there. And the last criteria is about how you are represented in the community and how you are returning the value and the support for your community. So you're going to talk about the programs or the events that your organization does. You're going to talk about how your employees are encouraged to be involved in our community, even if it's not Rumpke related or Frank's Heating and Air related, what they're doing in the community. And we'll talk about that a little bit more, and talk about those contribution of funds or in-kind services, like Dry Tech does a lot of things with Habitat for Humanity. Those are great things to include within your nomination application as you're going through. So those are the 4 criteria. And basically you have 12 questions to answer within those essays that you put together. Don't be fluffy. Don't write and write and write and write. Really be succinct and to the point. You can use bullets. You can make it very easy for yourself. Any questions about the criteria? Feel free to unmute yourself.
I've got something to say.
Please.
So, if you're looking at this list and you're looking at this final essay and going, I don't have enough that I feel like I can write about that we've done in the community. You've got time, do something. One of the best parts about this award and this process is that Sherry and the BBB aren't just looking to highlight businesses of integrity. They're looking to, give you an opportunity to improve your business. So, get out there and find a charity that you can work with, or go serve at a soup kitchen or something like that. You've got time. And, when you're writing these essays, you don't have to say, oh, just 10 days ago, we went and served at a soup kitchen. It can be, we as a company, we do community service and here's how we do it. So great opportunity to just fine tune and improve your business in the process.
Absolutely. And you will find that this process is really a process of self-discovery about your business. Mm-hmm. You'll find out a lot of things that you don't know about your business that are just cool and they're nice to know. And I will provide you the judges' comments, whether you win or you don't win, which will be another way for you to be able to enhance your business once you go through this process. So there will be a win-win-win, whether you actually win the honor or not. So I will share that so you can really enhance your business by going through this process too. Any other questions? Thanks, Allie. All right. Well, there's a little more goodness I'll share with you. So let's talk about best practices. The awards are about ethics and integrity. So dear God Almighty, use the words ethics and integrity in your application. I have had years when those words weren't used, and that's what this award is all about. So make sure that you use the words ethics and integrity in your essays. It's not so much about the profit and the impact you're making on community. It is really about how you do it. I know you're good or you wouldn't be here. I want to know the best practices that you're using to do so. It's not about what your organization does, but how it does it. And I hear this phrase all the time. It's really about being a storyteller. Paint a picture for us of why you should win that honor. If your organization is not headquartered in the Miami Valley, that's fine if you have a presence here. Just remember that your nomination should reflect your local activities. Yes, you're going to have some national policies that you have to follow and you need to abide by, but really also reflect on what you're doing locally that makes you different. Talking about letters of support, don't include 100 letters of support. Make them meaningful. Make sure those that are writing them for you know what the award's about and what you want them to say about you. Don't just necessarily go and here's 100 people I want a letter from. I will tell you, for instance, if you go to a Chamber of Commerce, you're going to get a form letter. And I can say that because one of my judges is from a Chamber of Commerce, and she will tell you that you will get a form letter. You want to make sure that they are very meaningful and reflect the values of this honor. But really, all the support materials and everything you provide is nothing new. They're all things that you already have. It's just putting them all in one place and uploading them into the system. Super easy. Don't recreate anything. Don't reinvent the wheel. It's all there. It's all in your organization's DNA. Use examples that really supports for the judges that you are doing what you're saying you're doing in your essays. So we'll talk about some of those supporting materials that you can provide. They want you to demonstrate your ethics and integrity and show the story. So those examples may be stories to tell where you include a paragraph about a story that you, how a staff person went above and beyond. It may be statistics. It may be awards that you've won. Any of that is what you'll include as examples that set you apart in the marketplace. The judges are looking for how you measure that you're doing the right things, those benchmarks that you have for yourself. So use those personal stories, anything that you use motivating, inspirations to tell your story. Don't hesitate to include something that's going to enhance your application, but you don't have to flood everything. Again, really, it's about quality. It's not about quantity. So keep that in mind. And I'm sure Allie in a little bit as well will talk a little bit about how she went through and edited what she included and what she didn't include. Because sometimes that becomes the case is you get so much from your team, you have to figure out what you're going to include and what you're not going to include. But take time, write things out ahead of time. And then what I would do is I would take all your supporting materials, put them together, scan them and upload them as one document into the application, make life easy for yourself. So here you're talking about the character section. Here's all the documents that I feel demonstrate our character. Take them, scan them in as one document and upload that one piece. Just makes your life easier than going through and uploading 20 documents. Make sure that your application is easy to read from the judge's eyes. So use highlighting, use bullets, use pullouts when you're putting things so they can easily see why you included the pieces that you're including. Put things into context, your trends, your benchmarks, tell them your goals as they relate to ethics and how you formalize that. And then also talk about how you've gone above and beyond in your industry. I love these stories. And I had to tell you, Gauna, I talk about Rumpke all the time in these seminars and some of the ways that your team goes above and beyond. In every seminar, I think I tell this story from years ago when you all won, is there's a story that one of the Rumpke drivers was going along his route and found a woman on the side of the road sobbing as she's pouring through her trash. That driver stopped, asked the woman what was happening, ends up she had lost her diamond ring in the trash. That driver stopped and helped her find that diamond ring, and you can bet that driver created a raving fan for Rumpke. What a great story to include in your application. So some of these stories you may not even know until you go and ask your team going through this process, because they do it because it's the right thing to do. And they don't share it because they're doing it because it is the right thing to do. They're not looking for accolades. So you may find these out as you're going through that process. And sorry to tell a little story on your team, Guyana.
Oh, that's okay. I love to hear these stories.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool stories that you had. It was probably 10 years ago where we had that story. It was fantastic. Just talk about what you're doing a little differently. Any questions about any of that? Okay. Y'all don't at any time unmute yourself if you have any questions. I am not a creature of habit. I am happy to fly by the cuff if you have questions. So let's talk about those supporting documents that we're talking about. Oh, sorry. Supporting documents. And I'm not going to go through this whole list. I will provide you with these slides so that you have them. And these are just a brainstorming. You don't have to include every single one of these things that I'm providing this on this list. There may be things that are not on this list that you're going to want to include. That's okay. This is just kind of to start the wheels rolling and get you to think about what to include and what not to include. So some of the things are, include your mission, vision, and those business principles that you have. Super easy. Just put them in a document, print them out so that you can include them. Include support letters from all of your constituents. It can be staff, customers, vendors. How cool to get one from a competitor. That's pretty cool when a competitor toots your horn. So include those kinds of things. Those beyond the call of duty stories, ask your team today to submit those stories to you. It may be that employee won't tell you, but an employee that knows what happened may tell you what that employee did. So it's a cool way to find those things out. Include your strategic plan, include your employee handbook, but let me put a caveat there. You don't want to include a 52-page employee handbook. Maybe pull out those pages that are relevant to your entry and highlight why you're including those pages in there. When it comes to those awards and those honors that you've received, you don't have to include a picture of every one of them. You can put a listing of them in, which makes life a little easier for you. So you can do that. One idea that I really love and has been really effective for people is put a 2-minute video about your organization in it. It is so easy to do. Don't go hire someone to create a video for you. You can literally use your phone and go talk to a couple constituents and have them toot your horn for you and include it. It could be an employee, it could be a board member, it could be a customer, whoever it may be, and put that video together. And I'm going to give you a secret tip. There is a really cool program called Animato. It is free. It is like video PowerPoint for dummies. If I can use it, you can use it. It is animoto.com. It is super cool. It is literally like PowerPoint for video. So you can take all those little clips of video that you collect and put them all together into one piece. So it is a super cool program to use. And I'm hearing my puppy chewing on something. Nope, she's right here. Okay. So let's talk about more. Come on. So the other things you can talk about is a difficult complaint that you handled and how you did it. You know, your board of directors include that information. You include your annual report, financial statements. You can include all of these things, or a few of them are what is relevant for your business. You can include pictures of employee events if you have picnics or a Dayton Dragons night or whatever it may be. You can include that as well. So those are options too. So any questions about the supporting documents?
No, but going back to the same point about the community service, you know, if you're looking at this list and going, what is all this? It's another opportunity for you to improve your business, you know, to go through your current documents and go, okay, when was the last time I looked at these? How do they look now from my new perspective? You know, how will they look from a judge's perspective? How will they look from the community perspective? So go through and get better and make your business better and create some docs if you want to create some docs, if you think it'll improve your business and reflect well on your company and what you're currently doing with your integrity. So that's just something that I know personally. We created a couple documents and in the process improved dry tech. So yeah.
Absolutely. And let me also say another thing. If ask your team what they're doing in the community. Ask them if they're teaching Sunday school, if they're coaching a little league team, if they are helping with Girl Scouts. Ask them how they're active in the community and provide that list to you. And then you can provide an overall list of all that activity in the community. They expand your footprint. I know when I am on a board or a committee, I'm always talking BBB. So I'm expanding the BBB's footprint. Your team is doing the same thing. So include that list in your application as well, because they are always talking about you and expanding your footprint as an organization. Any other questions? Okay. So let's talk about how you go through and enter all this great information. So you are going to go to bbb.org to this website, basically over where the 3 lines are up at the top of the menu. You push on that, there will be a screen that pops up and there's an option for Torch Awards. Click on that and it will take you to this page that you're seeing here. Then what you are going to do is enter your business or charity and the click to enter button. That's what you're going to click on, that middle top button. And then you're going to come to this application form. The application form, that first page, is going to talk about everything we just talked about. It's going to reiterate all of that again, and it's going to talk about the eligibility, the requirements, the criteria, and all that fun stuff for you to look at. Then you're going to be able to start filling out the application form. It's going to start with your typical entry form information. I will tell you, when it asks about the number of employees, it's the number of full-time employees. So that's what we go by, and that's what our dividing rule is the number of full-time employees that you have. So go through and fill out all of that information. Then is when you're going to start filling out the criteria information. Sorry. So what you'll do is you can see, you can have your essays already typed out in Word, and then you just do a copy and paste function into this box. Super easy. And then because you've scanned all your supporting documents, you'll see the upload button to enter those. You can use that there, sorry. And you can upload there. Now, here's the cool thing. I know it's hard to sit and get all this done in one sitting. There is a save function, and you can see that save function right here. So if you get called away, if you know you can only get part of it done, no worries. You can stop, you can go on. So that is there for you as well. Any questions about uploading all this stuff? Okay. Well, don't do it alone. Form a staff committee to help you. Look at people from key areas of your team to help. Look at volunteers that can help you. Maybe there is a board member, if you're a nonprofit, that can has a spouse or themselves that they have a little extra time to be able to help you. Rally those volunteers. We are an education town. We have universities out the yin yang that there are interns looking for opportunities to get resume building. Contact them and see if you have, there's a lot of college kids are doing things remotely. It's a great opportunity to get some help from them as well. So look, contact Wright State University, contact Central State, contact UD and see if there's any help that can be provided there as well. I can tell you the food bank did that years ago, and they hired Andy Macy as an intern, and he went through and submitted it the first time. They didn't win. They submitted it a second time. They did win with Andy's help. And now Andy is a full-time employee at the food bank. It was a great way for him to get to know the business, and they got a great employee at the same time. So there are some great ways that you can use interns, and I encourage you to do that if you want a little bit of extra help. So let's talk about a schedule and how doable this is. So don't panic, and hopefully I've not scared anybody away. But today and Friday, go through and draft a communication from your leadership if you are a bigger organization, and request their support, saying, so for instance, think Patton did when they were going through this. Niels wrote a letter to, or an email to his team saying that, hey, we're going for this award. If Christy comes to you asking for any information, please give it to her ASAP, because we are going to win this award, but we need your support and able to do this. Abigail, knock it off. Put boxes in common areas or folders, or on the internet, you can put folders that you can be able to see them. So that people can just throw things in there. So you don't have to go hunting to everybody saying, hey, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. They can just start throwing documents in there for you to be able to use as supporting documents if you want them. Rally any help you want. Today and tomorrow are great days to figure out who you want those letters of support from and include those. And ask your staff for stories about how team members have gone above and beyond, or how they've gone above and beyond, as well as lists of boards and committees that they are or have been serving on. So you have that information as well. Then the next 2 weeks, write your summaries for those 4 criteria and start gathering those supporting business documents. So 2 weeks, you can break that up. You do 2 essays a week. It's not bad. You're looking at a page or 2 per essay. It's not a bad beast to be able to tackle within that. So go through and do that. Then that final week of February, review and fine tune, have other people take a look at it and give you feedback. Sometimes we find that we get lost on our own jargon, or we understand something because we talk about it every day, but we're not looking at it from the judge's eye. So it's nice to have other people take a look at it. You can have people like Allie look at it, make arrangements for her and time that's good for her. You can have past winners look at it to give you their perspective. There's a list of past winners on the website. Maybe you have a connection with one of them. Have a family member outside of the organization look at it, whoever, but have other people look at it and fine tune it for you as well. And then March 1st, you're going to submit it. And it's all online. So make sure, technology is a beast. And like days like today, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? You want to make sure that March 1st is the deadline. There are no extensions. So make sure, and that's in fairness to everyone else. And March 2nd, start planning your site visit. Finalists will get a site visit. So I'm going to talk about site visits, and then I'm going to let Allie just unload on you with all her wisdom and what she's done. Site visits are April 1st, and only finalists will get that site visit. The site visits are game changers, I will tell you. The judges go through and they look at everything and the applications written, and the points look like there's a clear winner. The site visits happen and it can flip everything. So start preparing for your site visit as well. But April 1st is going to be the day. I'm going to call finalists on March 25th and say, congratulations, you're a finalist. The judges are calling on April 1st at 2:00. Allie, I'm not kidding. That's how it works, right?
It does. And all you'll do all day on that particular day is stare at your phone like this. It's exciting and nerve-wracking.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So March 25th, I'll be calling the finalists. And then when you're planning your site visit, you can tell your story however you want to tell it. You can use a PowerPoint presentation. You can do tours. You can have key staff talk for you. Some great clients talk for you, board members. You can do a mixture of all, but you have 30 to 45 minutes to tell your story. At 45 minutes, the judges will leave whether you're done or not. Really, in fairness to all the other finalists, it's not fair that somebody gets extra 5 minutes, what have you. So you have 45 minutes, be prepared, time it out, and tell your story. Please, please, please use the words ethics and integrity. I know the judges told me they went to one site visit, their scores were super high, and they did not talk about ethics and integrity at all. Well, there's where that flip-flop happens. So talk about integrity and ethics when you're doing it. Make sure everybody knows what they're supposed to talk about and how long they have to say it. You know, those windy people that like to dominate the conversation, really make sure that they know how long they have and go from there. So, Allie, I'm going to put you on the spot and let you share.
Okay, yeah. So we were actually the 2021 winners. So, you know, they pushed back the awards ceremony this year, like several months. So technically we're just outside of our winning year. And so this is all fresh in my head, which is good. But what we did before we submitted our application is we assigned a lead person for the project. And then, you know, a support team. And for us personally, we're a really small company, and, you know, helping to fulfill the requirements of this application process isn't something that I can take to my sales team of 3 people and add to their plate. So that was something that I was going to take on, but I couldn't do it on my own. You know, as a business owner and full-time mom, I would also need help. So I called upon my business partner husband, Brad, my extremely talented mother, and even my dad, who worked 40 years with a company locally and ended up as a director. You know, don't be afraid to go outside of your company. You know, if there are people that are close to you that know your business well, or just know and understand business, you know, get them involved, especially for us small companies who, you know, to ask for us to set aside time to do something and add more to our plate. It's a lot. So my mom, my dad, my husband, have help. Okay. Definitely have help. Looking at these slides, you know that this is a big undertaking. It truly is. So have help. Another thing we did was we visited the Better Business Bureau office, and, you know, we sat down in a conference room, and Sherry let us view previous submissions. Now, these submissions weren't, my son is walking in totally naked right now. Henry, you've got to go. He's 3. You got to go out. I'm on a Zoom meeting. Thank you. Okay. So we sat down, and Sherry let us view all these submissions, and the submissions weren't obviously the final presentation. So we didn't get a glimpse into, you know, what those final presentations would look like, but to be able to sit down and see the applications that had been submitted and the supporting documents, and more than that, just the format that they had been submitted was like extremely important to our process. I've got to hold on one second. Okay. I got to get Henry out.
These are the real life things that we face, right, with these Zoom calls and snow days. So thanks for bearing with us. We're sorry. I know my puppy's been distracting and Allie's kids. So thank you for bearing with. Any questions while we're going along? Everybody's good. And you are welcome to call me and I'll have you come in and take a look at the past applications. I will not send them to you because I don't want businesses' private information out there, but you're
Yeah.
welcome to come in and take a look at them.
Yeah. So that was really helpful. And there's a couple, tips and tricks that you'll learn by looking at those that I'm not going to say because I want you to go in and actually see them. It's really, really helpful. But then also, after you've tackled the submission of the application packet and the supporting documents piece of the puzzle, don't wait to plan your final presentation. Assume that your company is in finals. And you may be next year, you may be the year after that, but you're not wasting anything by preparing for that final presentation. In fact, you're, like we've been talking about many times, improving your company in the process. So assume you're in finals. There's not enough time between Sherry calling you and announcing that you're a finalist, between that and actually presenting. So be ready. Have your presentation, at least planned out so that you can just sort of, pull the trigger on it when you get that call, and begin the like practicing and everything that you'll need to do. With our company, we are a super enthusiastic family. We're a little bit over the top. And we put on a show. It was, it was a big production. We called in our entire staff. We called in previous customers, our material supplier partners, our Habitat for Humanity partners, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Anybody that we could, think of that would authenticate our brand and Dry Tech Exteriors integrity, we called. Now, a 45-minute presentation is a lot to plan for. No part of that 45-minute presentation should be left to chance. We, controlled every variable that we could possibly control. We planned every second. We scripted every single person that we brought on board. We hosted dress rehearsals, a couple of them actually, provided dinner to the people so that they didn't feel like they were just, helping out another company and wasting their own time. We made it enjoyable for them. Highly suggest that. Absolutely suggest that. We timed it. We added entertainment value. We made sure that we practiced like we would perform. And then by the time we got in front of the judges, it was absolutely fabulous. We did it one time for them and we were like, we need to like go on the road with the show. And that's really how it should feel. It should feel like, this is something that you want to film for yourself and, put on your own website because you're so proud of it. But, through this process, you may ask yourself a couple times, is this worth it? Is all of this work worth it? And for Dry Tech, it absolutely was. Winning the Eclipse Integrity Award at the time, now it's the Torch Award, has really vaulted Dry Tech Exteriors to the top of our industry in terms of trust. Customers come in with an automatic sense that not only are they, potentially doing business with a company of vetted integrity, but with a company of award-winning integrity. And for us, that has been everything. So please let me know if you have any questions. I would love to help you prepare your own company. I can give you my phone number. It's on there, 937-371-1688, or email me, text me, and I'm really glad to be a resource for you. So that's all I've got.
And you will love getting to know her. She means it from her heart, I know. So feel free to reach out and get assistance from her as well.
Yes, please.
It's those outside eyes that are helpful. Okay. So award categories, you're wondering how it's all going to be broke down. It is based on number of full-time employees. We'll have 4 categories for businesses, 2 categories for nonprofits. There was an occasion one year that there were so many great nonprofit nominations that we added a 3rd category. I can't tell you how this is going to break down. I used to preset that, 1 to 3 was a small, 4 to 7 was a medium. And it just did not turn out apples to apples when I did it that way. So what I do now is when all the nominations come in, then I look for where those natural breaks are And that's where those nominations fall. But this is a good guideline of where we are. It's 4 categories for businesses, 2 to 3 categories for nonprofits. Nominations must be received by March 1st. You can send it to me tomorrow if you've already been working on it and are ready to go. So anytime you want to send it to me between today and March 1st is great. Remember, sometimes technology is a beast. So be prepared for that in case something happens, that you have another way to submit it. But it's by midnight on March 1st. So just in fairness to all of the other applicants. And I am here for you as you go along. I would love to be besties with you between now and March 1st and beyond. You can reach me by email, which you'll see there. That is also my cell phone number. Don't hesitate to use it. I want you to be successful. I want to be able to give you the tools to be successful. So don't hesitate to reach out to me. I am there to help. I will also send out this recording back to you, so you have that, as well as the PowerPoint presentation, so you have that as well. So again, anything I can do to help, I'm there. Anything next, I'm happy to help. Again, just go to, if you want a quick link, it's bit.ly/2022 Dayton Torch Awards to start your application. And I wish you the very, very best of luck. Any questions from me or Allie? Pick Allie's brain. She's a wealth of resources for you.
No questions. Thank you. This was very informative.
Great. I am so glad. I didn't scare anybody off, did I?
Not yet, not until we dive in, I guess.
Good.
No, it's very helpful. Thank you.
You're so welcome. So welcome. Again, that's all I have. We wish you the very best of luck. Don't hesitate to reach out to Allie or I, or any other past winner that you have. And we hope to see your nominations completed on March 1st. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay warm, stay inside if you can.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Stay
so
warm.
much.
All right, take
Bye-bye.
care. Allie, thank you again.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, it went really well. Hopefully everybody walks away with a better understanding. I know last year for me, it was really helpful. So